try and, the quest is to find people, and the way you find people is by exposing people to the business. And the way we expose the people to the business is what? Have them send a card, and have them send a card. It's really not that difficult. Now, I do want to share some other things, though. How many of you have heard me tell the story about the fly buzzing against the glass? How many of you have not heard that story? Raise your hand. Okay, about half. I'm going to tell it. This will kind of set the framework for some of the things I'm going to talk about. Imagine for just a moment, there's a window right over here. Imagine for just a moment there's a fly buzzing against that window, which my guess is they probably cleaned a couple flies in the summer. They probably cleaned a couple flies off the windowsill. But imagine there's a fly buzzing against that window. What ultimately is the fate of that fly?
He's going to die.
He's going to die, and he's going to be sitting right there on the windowsill dead.
Oh, there is. He's right there, see?
Yeah, is there one? There could be. Ultimately, that fly's strategy is to try harder to break through that glass. The logical thing for the fly to do is to fly towards the light. That fly is 10 seconds from freedom. There's a wide open door, and that's all that fly would have to do is think differently, and it could effortlessly fly to freedom. Now, imagine there's 10 flies on that glass. And they all get together and they go, you know what we're going to do? We're going to all get together and we're going to fly real hard against the glass. What's going to happen to all the flies?
10 dead flies.
10 dead flies on the windowsill. The fly's strategy is to try harder. Now, the process of action, Cody used to talk about the process of action. The process of action is what we do every day. Most of you are here because you want to learn how to do the business. That fly knows how to fly. It's not in the realm of how to. Because what the fly does to get to that door and what the fly does to go through that window is exactly the same thing, isn't it? And there's not a single person in this room that I couldn't sit down with. That I could sit down with each one of you individually, and there's not one of you that couldn't tell me how to do the business. You all could tell me exactly how to do the business successfully. All of you. But yet, we're all looking for that how-to answer. Fly knows how to fly. It's just thinking. It just needs to think differently, and it's 10 seconds from freedom. Now, I'm going to give you some more real-life kinds of things, and then we're going to get into some specific stuff. Okay? Because everyone's always asking the question, how do I do this? What am I doing wrong? The big question, everybody in my group quit. Nobody's doing anything. What am I doing wrong? How do I do it? How do I talk to people? What do I say in the cards? Those are all how-to questions. The solution for that fly is not in the how-to. And I'm going to say that the solution for you to build a massive, monstrous business of tens of thousands of people, the answer does not lie in the how-to. That's not where you're going to find the answer, but that's where people ask the questions. So, we have to make stuff up. Because we're always trying to figure out the answers to the how-to. Why? Because people demand the how-to, but that's not what's really needed. So let me give you an example. We're all in, I am the best bicycle trainer in the world. None of you have ever ridden a bicycle before in your life. You've never ridden a bicycle. Now, how many of you know how to ride a bicycle? Raise your hand, honestly. Okay, good. Everybody. Just about everybody. So, we're going to assume that none of you have ever ridden a bicycle before in your life. And I am the best bicycle trainer in the world. There's no one better. And I've got the best bicycle rider in the world with me, Lance Armstrong. And we're in the classroom, and I've put together the most amazing how-to training on how to ride a bicycle. It's PowerPoint. We're going to show you everything, right? We're going to have a bicycle right here in front of all of you. And we got the most amazing PowerPoint. And for the next 8 hours, I'm going to teach you exactly how to ride a bicycle. Bicycle's right here. I'm going to teach you how to sit on the bicycle, how to put your foot on the pedals, how to steer, the mindset for successfully riding a bicycle. Now, we're going to do that for 8 hours. Lance Armstrong is going to tell you the most unbelievable stories about riding bicycles. He's the best. I'm the best. Now, we're going to go out to the parking lot, and I'm going to give all of you a brand new, shiny new bicycle. And we're out in the parking lot. You all get on the bicycle, and 100% of you, what happens? You fall. 100% fall. Some of you, within the next few minutes, get it. Some of you, in a few hours, get it. Some of you, in a day, get it. Some of you, it takes a week. And for some of you, it might even take a month. But the second, it happens in actually less than a second, that second that happens, that you get something, you can ride a bicycle. What is it? It starts with a B.
Balance.
Balance. When you get balance, which happens in a split second, and it doesn't lie in the realm of how-to, because if it did, I could have taught you up here in the front of the room. That doesn't work. Because the answer doesn't lie in the realm of how-to. It's a feeling. Balance is a feeling. Now what's interesting is you could ride a bicycle for a week. After you get balance, you ride it for a week, you set the bicycle down, 25 years later, you've never ridden a bicycle in 25 years. As long as you're physically healthy, you get on a bicycle, guess what? You can still ride a bicycle. 25 years later, and you haven't ridden. Why? Because once you get balance in your brain, it's there forever. It's a feeling. That's why when some people come to you, it's like so frustrating to people. What am I doing wrong? That's in the how-to. Network marketing is no different. So there's some little distinctions, some really little distinctions that have to do with thinking and feeling. They don't have to do with what you're doing. The thinking and the feeling may drive what you're doing, just like when you get balanced, you get on the bike and you ride, you have to do it, you have to do the process of action, you have to flap your wings, but that's not where the answer is not in the how-to, okay? So I'll just give you an example, just one really simple example. Cody Bateman goes to Reno. Cody speaks to, how many people did he have in Reno when he spoke? Do you know? Were you there?
Yeah, it was like 450 people.
Okay, 450 people. Cody got up there and he shared philosophy and stories. Didn't talk about send-out cards for 45 minutes. Philosophy and stories for 45 minutes. Stories that inspired people. He told his brother's story. It wasn't about send-out cards. It was about losing his brother and not having a chance to say goodbye. Okay? He told stories about giving to give versus giving to get. The last 45 seconds of his 45-minute speech, he talked about send-out cards. He had 40 people come up to him afterwards wanting to sign up. 40 out of 450 people, and he didn't talk about send-out cards except for 45 minutes. That's an example of a shift in thinking versus a how-to. Okay? It's a different way of thinking. So some people get really good at, there's a lot of different little things, little distinctions like that. That's just one example. But that's an example of that little shift that can make a huge difference. Now imagine if you had 10 people on your team that had the same power as Cody in the ability to do that. See, it's not a how-to. It's not like how do you tell a story. It's a feeling. Cody has that feeling in his spirit. You know, it's who he is. So when you get that, you can move people. So other people will try harder and they won't move people. They're trying to intellectually figure it out. How do I develop a marketing campaign? That's different. You see the difference in the feeling. Okay, so all that being said, I want you to just kind of process that, maybe sleep on it tonight. Like, what if the answer wasn't in the how-to? What if the answer was in the feeling? That's why I am statements are so powerful. These are index cards with my I am statements. That's why they're so powerful, because it actually, once these become you in the present tense, your I am statements are you in the present tense. This is you in the present tense. Once they become you, you feel who you are, and you attract what you are. You attract what you are. Yeah, I am lucky. See, I am lucky is not just something I say. I am lucky. What happens to lucky people? They get all the luck. They get lucky. You guys get what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's why your I am statements are so important. This right here is an example of, it's not a how-to. It's a feeling. It's thinking differently. All right? You with me?
Yep.
Okay. Some of you are and some of you aren't. But that's okay. But just process it. Imagine that. Imagine that you're that fly. And you've been trying. Like some people struggle to build a group of 10 people, and other people it's easy. But it's not because of the how-to. It's like, what are you saying to these people?